Plus Nkwale officials that have been indicted over corruption. Now, that conversation continues across the country, shaking up the local government structures as Minister Barambar Gahara and Justin Namere continue on the anti-corruption crusade. We're also looking at, of course, prison congestion as it hits critical levels. These are some of the conversations we are paying attention to on NBS Morning Breeze. But that is not all. Dalton Kawesa, it is Monday. Many of our people are waiting to see what the weekly court tracker will bring forward.
Well, quite interesting, and definitely we keep track of what is happening in the courts of law and cases that are definitely going to be defining the week, and perhaps maybe some of them will set it will make a big huge contribution to the jurisprudence. Let's go to Ian. Council Ian, welcome, and what's up? What do you have?
Thank you, Dalton. And,
maybe before we go into that, it's quite interesting. What are we talking about? Let's see. Well, it's exciting when we come to this segment because it not only teaches us about the things that are happening in courts, but also things that we should mind as individuals. Next time, you may never know what will come your way. Yes, Council Ian, it's exciting to have you. What do you have today?
Thank you, Dalton and Tracy, and good morning, our viewers. And this is a weekly court tracker. Today, we start off with a very important development in online banking fraud. So most of the people out there, and this is for our viewers, have these mobile banking systems, apps or payment systems like FlexiPay, these apps, Absa, all those apps. So now once you have this app on your phone, the question has always been, who has the onus of diligence? Is it you or the bank? And so many court decisions have settled the degree of diligence that befalls to both parties in this transaction, the bank and the client. And now an important development has come to change that jurisprudence to limit the diligence levels required of the bank once it has been discovered that the details from the side of the client were compromised with. So what happened in this case is that this woman has an account with a Stanbic Bank, which she has a lot of money on, and the account is breached on a certain afternoon when her phone is stolen.
Okay.
68 million is withdrawn within a span of 24 hours before she could notify the bank. Now, she goes to report saying the bank is responsible because she discovers these people who stole her phone used her phone to engineer her details and enter her bank account, but they first attempted unsuccessfully, like how you're trying to mobile money and you start with the wrong pin twice or three times, then finally you crack it and then you start doing the transactions, the withdrawals. So now the question to court is, should the bank be alerted and put on high security alert so that it, for example, blocks the account? And then we are versing two rights here. On the one hand, the customer has a right to withdraw their money. Should it be known that it is the customer who was trying to access the account and you denied them, maybe they wanted to do a quick transaction, you can be held liable. Yet on the other hand, should you detect any form of suspicious transaction, the onus now comes to you to block it. So the role of court in this case, and what Justice Jinamia Melody helped us with, was to clearly spell where the role of the bank stops. And she tells us that once it is your details used to enter your account, and it is the mobile number that you used, which they call the FlexiPay wallet in this case, because usually you have a certain number that you register with your banking payment system. So if we see that you're not changing a number, it was Dalton's number, now I'm putting it my number. No. Because they stole her phone, they used her very number. So when they used her very number, they accessed her account, and they used that very number now to compel transactions to go out to different numbers.
Yes, because the
it could be
OTPs are
her.
sent to that
It
number.
could be her to compel. I can enter my bank account and I start saying, pay this one, pay this one. So the lady justice found that the degree of diligence of the bank stopped at when the client entered the account using her own number and her very details. There you let it for them to transact. So they actually entered the settlement in which Stanbic Bank offered to pay this lady half the money, 34 million, but she denied it, saying, I want all the money. She went to court, but now it turns out court has said the bank has no problem.
Oh, wow.
Once you enter using the phone number and details of the account holder, then the bank has no way of stopping you from transacting.
Ian, in this time and age where we go to, let's say, to a tavern or you go to a restaurant,
yes,
and you use your card, they retain your details and they withdraw money. Who takes the responsibility?
So on that card, there is a certain number that is supposed to be kept secret to only you. And that is why Justice Jinami Amelode said that once the details have been compromised from the side of the client, then that shows negligence on the side of the client. But if you give away your number, because in the agreement you do with the bank, just that people don't always read these long things of terms and conditions and account opening agreements, but they clarify what you should do as the client, the account holder. They show you if you have a Visa card, for example, there's that card 3-digit number that is yours alone to know. The account number anyone can know and name. But that number...
You know why, and allow me here, why this case is very interesting,
yes,
is that many people use Visa cards. And I have a friend of mine who loves going, let's say, to Emirates, Dubai, and you know, when you go there, you just tap. Yes, you tap. The next time, actually, you're using the card is in your wallet. You don't have even to put your PIN. You just tap on the machine and payments are done. How safe?
We have such payment systems here, but they are regulated by laws. Okay. So, for example, here we have the National Money Payment Systems Act, which regulates those payment systems, and it has regulations under which the amount of detail that can be borrowed from a payment system is limited to a certain extent. So there is that detail that is reserved to you that only you should know. And once you let it out, now we relinquish the bank of any responsibility.
Okay, what more do we have in court? So,
again, in the commercial bank, we have an interesting decision from Justice Susan Odong in mortgaging, this time about the procedures of foreclosure and sale after default. Last time we were talking about mortgaging, but it was about spousal consent during mortgaging. But this time, once a person has defaulted on a mortgage, which happens most times out there, and that is why this is a human interest story for our viewers, that people always default on mortgages. But once you have defaulted on a mortgage, there are specific prerequisite requirements that are procedure that the bank or the mortgager must follow before they can foreclose and sell. These include giving notices, one in the Gazette with proper detail, and also to the mortgagee. It also includes acting in good faith. You must secure the best price possible at the prevailing market prices. So, but now what happens is that this bank goes and mortgages some funds attached to certain property at the time of foreclosing and selling. When this person has defaulted, the bank does things secretly. It does not issue the notices, and it goes ahead to sell this property at 135 million when the property owner had actually secured a buyer willing to pay 235 million, a whole 100 million difference. So usually why banks do this is that they want to knock off their debt. For them, they are not interested in how much you can sell at. Okay. If I demand you 100 million, even if the property is worth 500 million, if I get 120 million, it covers the price and the costs. Done. But we don't want that because this person has an interest in this property. So after this bank went ahead and sold without issuing these notices and sold at a very cheap price compared to the prevailing market prices, then it was obvious that Justice Susan Odong could only say that this was a fraudulent sale, and they went ahead to cancel the title and also slap some 28 million in damages to the bank to be paid to these individuals.
Well, thank you very much, Councillor Ian. And that has been the Court Tracker.
Well, it is a very good morning from us here at the Political Command Center, and we're certainly getting into the conversations also happening around the country. Germany is bracing itself for a by-election. 10 aspirants have already confirmed they will be taking part in this particular one. Joining us this morning is Martin Okudi. Martin, a very good morning. In terms of how the race is shaping up, first we want to get into who is contesting, which parties are being represented in the race, but also what is the mood on ground?
Good morning to you, Tracy, and the viewers, including Dalton. What we now know is that 10 aspiring candidates have shown interest to occupy the vacant seat for the Adjumani West constituency that fell vacant after the death of General retired Moses Ali on the 18th day of last month. You asked about the familiar faces. One of them who declared his intention to contest is the son of General Moses Ali, that is Qasim Ali. He issued a statement yesterday in the afternoon that he is best placed to replace his father. We are also seeing 3 other local council 5 former chairpersons of Adjumani district, that is Pili James Leku, Nixon Awole, and Ben Anyama. We are also seeing new entrants like Daniel Izale of PLU, and then many other NRM-leaning candidates, including one independent candidate, that is Patrick Tandrupasi. Others include Richard Madrara Obuni. We have Justin Mawadri. We are also seeing Gaspar Draga in the race, and many more others. Tracy and the viewers, the Electoral Commission has already indicated that the people of Adjumani West County or constituency will go to the polls on the 17th day of next month. So all these candidates are gearing up. They're already doing consultations, but this, I must say, is going to be a crowded race. And we were made to understand that there's going to be NRM primary elections. We are yet to confirm, or we are yet to get the accurate details from the NRM Secretariat. But so far, all these candidates are strategizing. Much as people are complaining that they are 10 and this number is big, but others are saying this is their civic right. The Electoral Commission chairperson visited Adjumani district, and he says they are going to organize free and fair election for the people of Adjumani West constituency. We shall let the world know about this latest development from Adjumani West constituency. Back to you at the Political Command Center, Dalton and Tracy.
Thank you so much, Martin Okudi. All eyes will be on, of course, Adjumani West for the details there. But 10 is quite a number.
And for the benefit of our viewers, they are not replacing an ordinary person. It was called the cock of Adjumani.
So the replacement is going to be called what?
It's going to, no, the shoes. I mean, you're stepping in big shoes. Big shoes, the size of the shoes. Replacing Moses Ali is not an ordinary election.
That's true.
And what are the odds for the opposition?
Also the
and what is the possibility that by the time of his death, he
does he have a son in the race?
Someone.
Does he have a son in the race?
There is certainly a conversation about the son, who is also a minister, I think.
A minister?
Yeah.
Is he interested?
No, he can't go back to that, because then I would expect him to relinquish the
ministerial position.
No. No,
There are chances.
I hope you're Ugandan. we have our own presidents here in Uganda. Have you heard of acting judges in any other country?
No, but I've heard of acting brigadier general.
Acting? No. Hey, yes.
Yes.
So Uganda is a very unique country. We have acting judges who've acted for more than a year. And they move with the title, with the honors of Omulamuzaze.
Akato mu Luganda bo muyitoti.
Omulamuzi ow'ekimpatiira. Omulamuzi.
If they sentence me, is that an acting sentence? Or am I actually sentenced? It's like a conversation.
It's a very interesting country.
We need to go to Farish Magembe. Can you find out what Farish Magembe?
Ebuddu. Farish, kansubire buddu muli bulungi. Era gitambula. Enkuba yatandise okutonya. Ye mbozi ki ekutta akati oluuyi olwo?
Beat, but today, by the way, LC2, we are voting. LC, no, we are not. It's the electoral colleges that are voting. Yes.
What's the role
of the LC2?
Sorry, I'll sound dumb and naive on air. What do LC2s do?
Parish development mode.
Together Farish. Well, Msajja wa Kabaka Farish Magembe tuwanga fudde mu buddu enchagano era na chiche tuba tutunulira.
Yatuse da Farish.
Well, Simon wasotya Tracy atene bolina babalalawo. Nalaba NBS enkyaleero agava mu kitundu kino ekyemasaka ga kulonda bassentebe b'emiruka oba ziyite LC2. Okulonda kuno emabegako ali kubadde nga tikubaamu bbugumu naye olw'ebyo byonzo gamba nti ebize byeyongera mu kalulu kano n'obuvunaanyizibwa obw'enjawulo kati obuweebwa bassentebe b'emiruka bano ng'okulondoola enteekateeka eya parish development model kati eyagala okugibwa gye baagala okujja ku bukadde 10 ogifuula obukadde nga bisatu, that is mu kisanja ekiramba ssentebe abeere ng'alondodde close to billion oba okusoba ku billion emu n'ekitundu. Kino kyongedde okuba nga kireetawo ebbugumu ly'amaanyi nnyo mu kuvuganya mu kulonda kuno kw'abassentebe b'emiruka era nga mu miruka egy'enjawulo wano mu kibuga Masaka olaba nti abantu bangi nnyo bavuddeyo nga waliwo n'abaagwa mu bifo ebinene naye kati obwanga nga baboolekeza ebifo bino okuvuganya ku miruka n'okweyongera abamu mu kulonda kuno bassentebe b'ebyalo bwe balaba nga tebajja kuwangula ne basalawo kwatagana ne bannaabwe ne bafuna ebifo ate babeere nga batunuulira ebifo ebyo ebinene byo bassentebe b'emiruka naye mu kitundu kino ekyemasaka ojja kulaba nti mulimu okusomoza kw'amaanyi nnyo nti bassentebe balina okubeera nga balonda emiruka gino ate ku byalo bingi nnyo wano e Masaka ku byalo nga Mulema, ku byalo nga Senyange, ku byalo nga Kasaali n'okweyongerayo bassentebe abo n'olukiiko bwabwe bw'abantu 11 be balina okubeera nga bajja ku miruka balonde naye ojja kulaba nti ate mulimu omuluka mulamba nga gulimu ebyalo ebisobera ddala ebyalo bina biramba nga byo tebirina obukulembeze obuliko bonna nga babwemulugunyaako era n'okulonda ne kusazibwamu minisita Balamu, minisita Justin Nameere aba local government akageri gye kali nti bo ba mu kitundu kino ekyemasaka kale ekyo kireese okusomoza kw'amaanyi nnyo nti abantu abasuubira okujja okuba nga balonda obukiiko buno ate ku byalo bingi nnyo tebaliiwo ekyo nno ne kiba nga kiteekawo okusomoza naye akeeterekero kamaanyi nnyo wano mu kibuga Masaka n'okwetooloola sub-region yonna oba ebbendobendo lino lyonna ery'e Masaka nkomyo gy'oli ate obe ng'otwongera ebirala ebifudde mu ggwanga obudde buno naye buli kimu nga bwe kigwawo tugenda kuba omulabi waffe tukimutuusaako mu budde.
Okay, webaling tweyanze Farish. Electoral colleges are now voting for LC2. Electoral colleges are easily compromised. I always see that voting pattern with workers MPs. How a worker or how candidates or incumbents bag it because of money. How they get people, put them in hotels, feed them, give them per diem, and then it's a sure deal.
Would you rather go for an electoral college?
No. Adult suffrage is the way to go.
Because, you can easily, get away with it.
Okay.
That's what you're saying.
I'm not a vote thief.
Well, there you have it. Alex Mgasha also joins us as we talk about electoral commissions. How ready are they? It is, of course, LC2 elections. But even before we talk about the LC2 elections, from Mbara, are there particular disputes from the LC1 just concluded race that are yet to be resolved? Of the 400 that we know so far, is Mbara also listed among?
Very pertinent that is, Tracy. Good morning to you, good morning, Simon, and good morning to you watching us. Indeed, joining me this morning is Ms. Violet Athura, who is the returning officer in Mbara City, who is also the election administrator for Mbarara City. A very good morning, Violet. Thank you so much for joining us. Tracy and the viewer wants to understand, before we even get into the LC2s, how was the LC1 elections? Because I remember we had about 7 villages that did not vote. Did they successfully vote, and any dispute?
Good morning, Alex. Good morning, NBS. Yeah, we had 7 that had not voted. Then before we could do the repeat on first, one village, they agreed, and 2 of the candidates withdrew. So we got an unopposed candidate for Kachika Cell. So on 1st August, we did the election for the remaining 6, and yes, they were successfully done. Every village in Mbara City now has an elected chairperson.
Okay. Any disputes?
No. After the repeat, no.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's now get into the LC2. How organized are we? I've also learned that about 18 wards have an opposed LC2 chairpersons. How possible is that in Mbara?
Alex, it is very possible. We did the nominations, and people went through unopposed. So today we're organizing for elections in just 2 of the wards, and that is Bihar West. And Bihar West is in North Division, and Rakshak is in Mbara South. Yeah, so what the other wards are going to do is to sit, and so that the chairperson that went through unopposed can elect the executive committee members. Yeah, that's what will be happening today.
So does that suggest that, since it's an electoral college election, does that suggest that we may not see much of the disruptions that we saw, for example, in the LC1 election?
No, we won't, because now the numbers have come down. It is the electoral colleges. Only the people who are elected on the executive committees of the villages are going to participate at this level, not the entire village like we saw the other time. So we expect it to be more calm and organized. Yeah.
You and I know that we have always had challenges regarding interference of politicians at higher level, city and parliamentary level. We saw that in the LC1 elections, and I am also sure that this can also happen in this electoral college election of LC2. How are we going to manage that?
It happened a lot in LC1. The advantage now is that they are less, and also the places of elections are less. There are only 2. Yes, they always interfere and bring certain challenges, but I have a feeling they already interfered, and that's why we have so many unopposed. I have a feeling they already sat and talked. Yeah, so we don't expect much of that today. We really don't expect much of that in today's elections. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Violet Athura. She is the Mbara City returning officer, who is also the election administrator in Mbara City. Now, 18 out of 20 wards have unopposed chairpersons. Now, that is Mbara City for you. If whether there was interference of the other politicians at higher levels, we can only not tell and confirm, but definitely there must have been. Let me get back to you, Tracy and Simon, at the Political Command Center. More of this will be in our subsequent broadcast. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Alex Mgasha. 18 out of 20 unopposed. Chai.
Yeah.
They said the money.
That opens up vibe for the week. Of course, after having that low weekend. Yes, for starters, we need to commiserate with the bereaved. As Next Media, we are shattered. But nevertheless, may God rest the souls of our colleagues in peace. Life continues. That's the iron of life. But it's going to be a very interesting week. Today is the 10th, right?
Yes.
10th of September.
Of August.
No, August.
Yes.
Why am I in a rush?
Because you're a landlord.
That's a good one.
As a landlord, you look forward to the next payment.
I despise Mizigo Investments. So I'm not a landlord anywhere. I'd rather grow coffee.
Let's go to Dada Evare, who's finding out what is happening in Lubiji. Lubiji, those of us that are fond of that place, my granny big in Kasubi, so Lubiji is so near, you just walk and see the different activities. Are we ready to fish in Lubigi?
Done. Distilling. They call it distilling?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Done. We are ready for the details.
Okay, good morning, Tracy, Dalton, and Simon. I'm coming to you live from the Lubigi channel, and where I'm standing, you can see that on most of the days when it rains, most definitely you'll see floods, and the Kampala Capital City Authority says that right now they are trying to prepare prior to ensure that maybe that can't happen. Now, as you can see in my background, or if my camera can show you, you'll see tractors that are parked, and maybe later on they'll be coming back here to ensure that they can desil this very entire channel and ensure that this place can be ready for the rains. But I'm joined by the Kampala Capital City Authority spokesperson, Daniel Nuwabene, to explain more about the process that's going on. And then, of course, we get to know that this is Daniel. Thank you for joining us on NBS Morning Breeze. Now, the desilting is going on right now, and one wonders, the desilting happens, and then the rain comes, and then this is washed back into the channel.
Well, that's a bad road to start. But first of all, I and the KCCA fraternity condole with the Next Media family for the loss of our brothers in the media, and pray for healing for our colleague who is still in hospital, and we pray for God's healing upon him. Now, where we are is the Lubigi. It is one of the catchment areas of Kampala's 8 drainage valleys, or the drainage endpoints. We have about 362 kilometers of drainage within the city, and the Lubigi is one of them. The others are Warufumbe, Nakamiro, just ahead. We have Mayanja, we have Narukolongo, we have Chinawataka. What we're doing here is to evacuate all the silt, what we call desilting. And in some areas, for example, this is a lined drainage that had not been touched for a number of years. But now we're removing all this silt, and to answer your question, once we remove it, we spread it out to create kind of a garden, and that will be covered with grass so that the silt does not get back in here, to enable us have a smoother desilting in the future. So what we're doing now, as you see the banks here, it is going to be spread out like it was spread out where the cameraman is standing and the crew. It was spread out, and there is grass now, so we cannot have any of that come back inside here. But on the other secondary drains, once we desilt, or especially the lined ones, once we desilt, we have tractors now that come and remove from the roadside. But primarily, we are desilting, and those that are not lined, we are drenching them, we are widening them in order to have the rains and the stormwater smoothly evacuate the city.
The Kampala city flooding problem, also maybe if I may ask, is it just a drainage issue, or there are bigger issues that need to be addressed beyond just the drainage?
I still insist that we don't have a flooding issue in Kampala. We have temporal stagnation of water that may cause damage. Now, we have other challenges like inappropriate waste management, where people get their waste, because you see, there is Kavera in here. There is Kavera, there is bottles, and yet this is all value. So the inappropriate waste disposal of our people in Kampala, and some out of Kampala. Someone gets rubbish in a Kavera and dumps it in the drainages. And we are curing this by going into the communities and sensitizing them, getting them closer to companies that recycle, so that at the homestead, at the shop, at the workplace, people have 2 bins. I hope you do at NBS, where you have the recyclables alone and the decomposables alone. Now we do this every Saturday within our communities, and now we are fortunate that we have the National Cleaning Days, where everybody, not just within Kampala, but everyone across the country, will learn that this is a must. Once we sort the garbage, then we shall have less garbage coming to our drainages, less going to Buyala where we dump it, and more that goes to be recycled. But there's also another challenge. You have guys who have been doing things with impunity. Someone comes because they feel they have some money and they construct along a drainage channel, or they block a drainage channel. Such impunity has also caused us some challenges. It has been done in the past, and now we are dealing with it in the present. But we are ensuring that it doesn't happen now, so that we don't have to deal with it tomorrow. We are cracking down on all those that have built along channels. You have seen us in Chinawataka demolishing properties that had been constructed on the drainage channel. We are doing the same ahead in Rubaga division, where VG terminates into Mayanja, and this will help us and has helped us a big deal to make sure that we clean up. Also, trade order in the middle of town, especially where Namirembe Road meets Room Street and Benchwanuka, where we had so many traders, so many people irregularly trading on the streets. Those traders will leave with the kavera from the clods, the peelings from matoke, from pineapples, from watermelon, and dump them onto the road only to be washed into the side drains and clogging them. So you find that the water along Room Street, from Namirembe Road, from Benchwanuka wouldn't enter or wouldn't drain into the Nachivubo channel because of the blockages. Now that we have trade order there, you can see the past heavy rains have passed without any issue in that area. So all these interventions, one, the psyche of the people of Kampala, that is mindset, understanding that they need to sort their garbage, they need not dispose of it inappropriately, us coming in to desilt, to dredge, to widen, and to make sure our drainages are clean, and ensure that what we take out does not come in, like you said in the beginning.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for joining us on the Morning Breeze. Now, Tracy, Dalton, and Simon, and dear viewer, Daniel says that if we do the desilting in all the channels, that means that we can be able to ensure that, like you mentioned, we don't fish when the rainy season comes in. I'll come back to you at the Political Command Center for now. Have a good morning.
Thank you so much, Dan Ayebade there.
Yeah.
Some good news.
I think everything now borders on discipline. You had last week the headmaster of SMAC complaining about delinquents who are sent to schools. Someone who has the guts to tell the teacher, you're wasting your time. I will be going to Canada.
I'm here just as I was.
I'm here to grow.
Yes.
You know, I think we need to cut certain things. Really, if you're talking about the indiscipline and the impunity that comes with dumping garbage, what are we doing to our kids? What kind of discipline are we instilling in them? Telling your child to file, visa.
Can you imagine? Do you have such parents?
Yes, you send your child to a priced school, and the kid will arrogantly tell the teacher that please don't.
But also that tells about,
hit me with a lot of work.
I mean, when you look at the history, also telling about how these kids are really admitted in such schools.
Well, sometimes merit is tilted. Merit that comes with grades, because there are certain schools that cook grades. Somehow they make it. We know schools.
You cook grades from the primary school.
Yes.
Then make
send your child to private school.
If you cook grades, discipline is. You can't cook discipline.
So this chichi boy will come and tell you, go ngambach. Canada.
And the following day that boy stays in the school.
Well,
because we can no longer administer corporal punishments.
It's not about corporal punishment.
No, you're dealing with
primitive.
No, you're dealing with a brat, a spoiled kid.
Yes.
So how better? By the way, we can throw this to the viewers. How better should schools deal with spoiled kids, your kids?
We'll definitely get feedback.
That's for the socials.
Yeah, let's get
How
feedback.
do we deal with Yomi kids?
But now, as we think about how we're going to deal with the kids, let's also check in with Lango because AFCON 2027 is around the corner. Now, there are sports infrastructure, facilities or projects that are in Lango, and we want to find out just the progress report as of today. And of course, what is being done to expedite what awaits.
Well, Tracy, what we do know so far is that this particular facility costed at 129 million US dollars. That is approximately 470 billion shillings. The construction is taking place just 2 kilometers outside Lira City, and of course, we do understand that it is in its final stages, because if you look at some of the pictures that we have been getting from the construction site, it is something that, of course, locals here says that it is exciting. Now, the members of parliament from the Lango sub-region yesterday had an engagement with the business community and also those who are investing in some of the hospitality infrastructure within the region, because it is something that keeps coming up every time that we see inspections going on within the region. This is not something that is only seen as investment for Lango, but also for northern Uganda, because currently there is a construction for the training facilities in the cities of Ulu and Lira, where the construction is at Lira University. So today we expect that the members of parliament joined by the business community will be inspecting some of this infrastructure. For now, let's get to listen from the chairperson of the Lango Parliamentary Group.
Kibwa Stadium as a structure cannot operate in isolation. It operates with the good accessible roads. It operates with other amenities. The ecosystem around Akibwa comprises of the access roads, the health centers, and other amenities. I will tell you, for example, there is a training facility at Lira University to support Akibwa. So there is a whole high chances and indication that Akibwa is going to host AFCON. The main stadium that is going to host AFCON is Nambole. However, government put in place a plan for Hoima City and then Akibwa. And we, as leaders of Lango Parliamentary Group, we are calling upon government, ensuring that all that investment of $130 million cannot be left unutilized. We are certain and sure that Akibwa is going to host AFCON, and that's why there is a lot of activity. By today alone, the CAF team that has already moved in here almost 5 times, trying to inspect and ensure that Akibwa is ready. Maybe just to bring to your attention, our neighbors, Kenya, will be having election in 2027. It is very paramount that a lot is done to prepare Akibwa, so that if there are any eventualities, Akibwa and Hoima are in good shape to host and take full opportunity of hosting AFCON. So yes, Akibwa will host AFCON.
Well, in terms of preparation, what we do know is that there's been one issue that keeps coming up, and these are the issues of roads that leads to the access of these training facilities and also the stadium. For several times, the leaders within Lira City have been writing to the Minister of Sports, and of course, they made commitments that some of these roads would be worked on. But it is something that we are yet to see happening within the city center, but also leading right from Lira Kambini Road to Lira University. It is a state of that infrastructure that we to, of course, see members of parliament visiting some of those sites. For now, I'll hand back to you at the command center.
Isaac Otui, many thanks for that detailed report. Hey, the race for AFCON is here.
Yeah, but I find it rather odd that the mood is not peaking yet. Events normally fall on us. Chogam fell on us. I remember when Britain was preparing for Olympics, it took them 10 years of hype.
Actually,
nothing but hype.
Remember the World Cup, South Africa?
Yes.
We were in Uganda. We were more excited. You'd think we are actually South Africans. So,
but also you are the epic example of the lack of, because you would be hyping But you're not doing it. But
no, let me tell you, I'm not in the loop. I've not been brought on
You're
board.
the
You are Ugandan. By virtue of you being Ugandan, you are in the loop.
No, the trouble we have today is that people eat off these things and they expect us to do their job. The patriotism would naturally call on me to support AFCON regardless. But is anyone bringing us on board to hype AFCON? By now, would be making noise about AFCON. Is Lango in itself up and gearing up to the day?
Let's monitor everything. But also we're saying your screen...
Your rules, because you should be able to decide whether you want entertainment, sports, or kids content, when you want it, where you want it, how you want it. Streaming control with the MTN TV by Afro Mobile. Go ahead, download it on your Play Store or Google Store, and make sure that you have these on your phone. Enjoy the luxury of choosing or being in charge of what you stream, when you stream, and how you consume it. Now, that takes us into topical discussion, which should be coming up right next. The conversation is beyond the retreat resolutions. The question is, can the opposition shift parliament from party loyalties to national issues? Our guests today are Eddie Kwizera, MP of Chimbiri County. We also have Caps Hassan Fungaro, the MP for Bongi. Gentlemen, that is quite the conversation. Shifting.
Oh yeah, coming up shortly. Good morning.
Brought to you by
Cadbury. There's a glass and a half in everyone. T's and C's apply.
The National Mosquito Net Distribution Campaign is back. No one should die of malaria in this era. It is your responsibility to chase malaria from your home. The good news is that the government of Uganda has once again started distribution of mosquito nets under the 5th Universal Coverage Campaign, also known as the Under the Net campaign. Under this exercise, 1 mosquito net will be distributed per 2 people in every household. A village health team member, a community health extension worker, also known as a CHU, and the LC1 chairperson will move house to house to register members of the household in preparation for receiving their mosquito nets. Do not lie back. Ensure that you register all your household members to receive a mosquito net. On the distribution date, move to your distribution point and receive your net. Mosquito nets protect you and your family members from infectious mosquito bites that lead to malaria. Ensure that you receive the net, hang the net, and sleep under the net every night.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched, fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800 211 033 to get started.
Kumulembe kuna abakozi bachayambala ebintu ebyo bisambala bannannyini makolero zi kampuni abakozi mubafunire uniforms eziri ku mulembe okuva mu George Color Solutions banyirire bafulume mu material ne design ebiriko ate nga kuliko n'akabonero ka kampuni yo olwo business babantu maaso bagimanye tosubwa campaign eno omulamwa kugamba nti stand out mu uniform yo ne George Color Solutions bali ku Prime Complex ku Johnson Street shop number C24 esimu noti 7772 anamu5 9 29 wamu ne ku www.georgecolorsolutions.com.
Who are you? I'm Fake, the boss king. body rush wakuwe. Oyagala red rush wakuwe. Ulira boosty, ulira. Funana, funa boosty.
Funa Boosty with the extreme energy and refreshing taste of Sting Energy Drink. Available countrywide at only 2,000 shillings. Must be Sting. From the makers of Pepsi.
What if you could find a tranquil escape right here in the city? Welcome to Sheraton Wellness Spa, where calm meets comfort and your well-being comes first. Step into a world designed for you. A serene heaven to unwind and rejuvenate. From the moment you arrive, feel the stress melt away. Relax in our steam room. Detox in the sauna. Let every breath bring you peace. Because here, it's not just about treatments, it's about you. Your sanctuary in the heart of Kampala. Sheraton.
Hey, travelers! Are you a family gearing up for that big vacation, a hustler working abroad coming home, or your squad chasing sunsets and passport stamps? It's time you lock in. Say goodbye to long airport queues, shocking roaming bills, and the stress of hunting for local SIM cards, because now you can travel like a local. Stay connected in over 180 countries. Just scan, tap, and boom! Instant data the moment you reach your destination. Get your Rogue Travel eSIM today at travel.roguetelcom.co.ug. Contact us on 020 500 123.
This is not just a run. This is a movement with purpose. Join us on 30th August 2026 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds for the Cancer Run 2026. Starting at 6 a.m. Also taking place simultaneously in other districts across Uganda for the completion of the One-Stop Cancer Center at Nsambia Hospital. Registration is only 30,000 Ugandan shillings online using Gonza Pay. Gates are available at all Centenary Bank branches, Capital Shoppers outlets, Bread House branches, the Cancer Run office on Zimwa Road, Muyenga, the Rotary Uganda office at Nick Building, and Rotary clubs across the country. The Rotary Cancer Run 2026 is organized in partnership with the Parliament of Uganda, Centenary Bank, Crystal Water, and
NBS Sport, championing Ugandan sport.
Well, a very good morning and welcome to today's edition of the Topical Discussion. I am Simon Kagwa Njala, catching up on what's trending in politics. Parliament is up and running. Just last week, there was a caucus meeting for the NRMs where they struck a memorandum of understanding with members, the independents. Well, it's a rather intriguing development given that some schools of thought hold it that it is another way of controlling independence. But what should the country expect now that independents are formally, majority of the independents are formally aligned to the NRM, and how will it influence politics of the day? But on the other hand, the opposition also had a retreat where they discussed a number of things. We'll be looking at what is between the lines on these retreats and caucusing, plus, of course, how the state of affairs will be twisted or propelled with such arrangements. Joining me this morning is Honorable Eddie Kwizera, Member of Parliament, Bufumbira County. Bukimbiri County, pardon me. And during the course of the show, we expect to be joined by Honorable Caps Fungaro, Member of Parliament for Obongi County. Good to have you, Honorable Eddie, and a very good morning.
My pleasure, and a good morning to listeners.
Well, the country is quite curious about the new relationship between independents and the NRM. How significant was your memorandum of understanding, and what lies beneath it?
First and foremost is that you make a disclaimer such that people don't say that this one was talking on behalf of NRM or talking on behalf of independence, because when you are an independent member of parliament, you are independent of each other. There is no party of independence. And associating with any party like NRM does not make you a member of that party. Those are a few things I would wish to clarify. So after elections of 2026 and after swearing in, the caucus formation is start. And the caucus formation is meaning that those who have like minds, you start with those people who have same ideology. Like NRM, they have the caucus of NRM. DP, they have the caucus of DP. Different parties have different caucuses. So they start internalizing their achievement, what they would want to offer to the country in the period of 5 years. So there is always lobbying. So now the NRM, of course, the work of politics is to make sure you recruit support and you shape the perception. So in this case, there are those ones who lost elections, but the primaries of the different parties were not fair. And it was proved that a number of members of parliament on either party, either NRM or different parties, they came as independents and defeated flag bearers. So that was they exonerated. So, but when you have been a member of NRM like me, election does not go well for primaries. You say, no, let me appeal to the wider public. And now the wider public says, you are the member of parliament. It doesn't mean that you lose contact with the NRM which has sent you there, although you work as an independent. But now they say, for system improvement, for political performance, for delivery of service, already there is a structure of government. Which structure of government is implementing NRM manifesto, which NRM is in the power. So you are not going to sit there as an MP and say, me, I'm independent of any party, even that one which is in the power. So now we have a relationship which is a working relationship, a collaborative relationship, to make sure that we implement the programs of development in the country.
Yeah, but when you look at the NRM constitution in itself,
yes,
it bars anything to do with independence. It actually provides that whoever runs as an independent would have forsaken his membership in the party.
No, but the NRM constitution does not amend the constitution of Uganda, because the constitution of Uganda says freedom of association is guaranteed. I can associate with you without not being a member of your party. So it is an association for delivery of service and performance of service to satisfy the public which elected us.
No, but do you realize there is a contradiction?
No, the contradiction can be in the party constitution. But there is a constitution of Uganda, 1995 was amended, guarantees freedom of association. That is simple.
No.
So there is no violation of the constitution. It is not the party constitution. We are looking at the national constitution. Because when we come to parliament, we look at the national constitution.
Yeah, but you're going back to NRM as prodigal son.
No, we are not going to NRM. We are associating with NRM because they are in power.
Okay.
And some of their
that provides ambiguity. You're independent, but within NRM.
We were elected as independents, not on a party ticket. But that one does not stop you from associating with a party that will deliver your aspirations and aspirations of your people. So that's an association. And that's why the Constitution of Uganda guarantees freedom of association.
Do you have a clear understanding of what you're running into, to the extent of signing a memorandum?
Which one?
Because a memorandum in itself means control.
What was that memorandum amending? Was it amending the party constitution?
So what's
it was not. It was a working mechanism. That is all.
So how far do you go in relating, or how independent will you still remain? You were voted as independent.
You see, when you have signed a working relation, you have developed a working relationship. There are some of those things that cannot be discussed in public, but there are those which will be discussed in public. As we talk now, I will tell my voters that I have a working relationship with the people in the power, which is NRM. So that now, for those who are in NRM, those who are not in NRM, all of them achieve what they want.
No, but this is, I see a sense of betrayal to your electorate. They ditched the NRM candidate and chose you.
No.
That in itself means
when I was being elected, among the assurances I gave is that I will work with the government. So now, for me to work with the government, we need a defined relationship. The defined relationship, you know, that I'm working with NRM is that memorandum of understanding. To understand, there are those ones we put there that we shall do, and those ones we shall not do, which is a preserve to what we did. So there is nobody who is going to ask in Wichimbe and say, have you crossed now to NRM? No, I haven't crossed. But I have developed a working relationship. Even when I was campaigning, or individual members who are parliament who are campaigning, they will say, I will work with NRM to achieve development.
Yeah, but I look at it as a bit of being opportunistic to your ends, to satisfy your selfish ends.
You know, when you have a preconceived mind, you prejudge. So now, you may find that already you have your position, which is a perception. Politics is a perception, but your perception may not be correct. The perception you have been having of things that maybe people were crossing or they were frustrating those who voted for them is the wrong one. I am now telling you that the right position is, when I was campaigning, individual members were campaigning, they said, we shall work with the government, because I was not campaigning to become a president.
So is this a cooperation, a working arrangement?
It is a working arrangement. So to know what I expect from NRM and to know what they expect from me. Written, not verbal. So what our relationship is now described and documented. So I know what to get from them and when. And also my expectations are there. And the expectations of the people.
What did it take for the NRM to lure independents to their side?
Of course, you know that in politics you want to recruit support. Now, I am independent. I am associating with NRM in performance and delivery of service, in achieving what NRM wants to achieve, or the government, like in fighting corruption. If we are going to fight corruption, I will not fight corruption as an individual member, independent, and leave the wider system of government. I need the system of government to enable me fight corruption and deliver service. So I cannot come and sit outside the house and say, I will be benefiting from what's in the house.
Okay. There were quite a number of resolutions that were made during this meeting. Among them is the fight against corruption.
Yes.
Do you think NRM is walking the talk on this? And what gives you the conviction that this time there is some bit of awakening?
The fight against corruption did not start from the caucus. The fight against corruption was a proclamation made by the head of state and the government. You know, when the president becomes the head of state and the government, we now don't talk about parties. We look at the head of state and the government. So if the head of state and the government makes a proclamation that this time we are going to fight corruption, we are not going to sleep for delivery of service and to fight corruption. Why did the president make those proclamations of Chisanja no sleep and fighting corruption? Whatever the president knows cannot be discussed in public. But what the president knows informally motivates him to say what he wants to say as a proclamation. Now, it means that in the 11th parliament or the last government, he realized that the trend of corruption was going high, non-performance, non-delivery of service was going high. Now he has told the ministers that I don't want to see anybody sleeping. But it doesn't mean that he's telling them that you go and sell your beds and come and work overnight. No. He's saying work in accordance with the law and perform on your mandate. Work in accordance with the Constitution, work in accordance with the law, deliver service, and we fight corruption. Of course, corruption is one element of good governance. And you know Parliament is supposed to observe good governance components and elements. So when we are talking about delivery of service, leaders who are accountable. So we are also going to say that after the president has made a proclamation in formal systems, now someone responsible must have developed a policy direction on how the president's proclamation of fighting corruption and no sleep is going to be implemented.
For now,
yes,
there's no policy.
No, there is no policy now. So now it is time that the Prime Minister and the Minister for Presidency develop a policy implementation paper, because they were very key papers. Policy implementation on fighting corruption, it is a renewed undertaking. So we are expecting that the government is going to give guidelines instead of now finding that institutions of government are going to have institutional conflict unless the president translates what he meant in the proclamation into actionable programs. Because already you have IGG, you have police, you have courts, you have parliament, public accounts committee are there, you have state house anti-corruption. The agencies are there, but still the president says, as they said, he was having nausea. But those agencies are there. So it means the president is going to develop a guideline.
Where things stand now, how ambiguous or clear is the shape or the direction the fight against corruption?
No, you see, the president, what many people should know is that the president is on top of all the information, both the right information and the wrong information, because he received, the president is the consumer of all the information, good and bad. So now he has said, no, although I have these agencies which are fighting corruption, I have parliament, I have judiciary, I have cabinet, but seems they have been sleeping on job. So this time they should not sleep on job. But because that proclamation has not been defined yet, yet you are going to find many people fighting each other. Ministers are going to work without knowing the limits. The members of parliament are going to now do the things beyond what they are supposed to do. The other this is the same. So there must be a policy guideline. That's how policies are developed. The head of state government has identified the problem, and that problem must be solved. They need to be having some kind of coordination. And the president could have told you that in this place they were sleeping more than the other side.
Yeah, but proclamations against corruption have literally become rhetorical. Literally, at every swearing in, the president pledges zero corruption. What, in your opinion, happens along the way? How does government get into lull mode?
I think that my experience and my training, when I look at the president's proclamation on corruption and the poor delivery of service, means that there are some people who are sleeping on the job. Secondly, the president also needs to be protected. According to now, you see the president's actions. Some of them you see that here the president is not protected. The president is supposed to be protected by the private staffs in his office, so that he does not receive wrong information. The president can be misinformed, can be misled. So it is upon the people in the private office of the president to protect the president, so that the president does, even if he receives wrong information, it is received, vetted, and they bring the right information. This one also helps the president to appoint the right people in the right office. Because if the president is not protected, he can make an error. And in management, what we call the cost of error. The cost of error of a president is high. So you must make sure that the president, head of state, does not make an error. Where the president can do an action, he has sacked the other one, he sacked the other one, then tomorrow we find that he has again reversed what he did. It means the people did not protect him. So we must make sure that cabinet discusses, writes things, and which are legal. Everybody who is in the office is there on an instrument to do good and to be truthful. But when you see people not doing their work, they can make the president make an error, which is very grave.
Wouldn't you be expecting too much to rally MPs to be part of the caravan against corruption, where Parliament has on a number of occasions been accused of being a hub of corruption, budget corruption mainly?
But when you say that the leaders, like in the Parliament, that they are corrupt, are you not the one who sent them there? What the members of Parliament are a reflection of the people who voted for them. So out of them. Yes, some. Not all members of Parliament are corrupt. Like last time we said it here that if you introduce the corruption scan and you put that Parliament, and then you say let everybody pass there, I think the majority may not even pass there, because you know how our systems work. So the word corruption is not foreign. It is here.
Yeah.
But so what I'm saying that Parliament in itself, they have rules of procedure and they have mechanisms to make sure there's no corruption.
So it makes
because the committees under Article 90 committees are a membership. The members are many. Decisions are taken in the committees. So you cannot say that Parliament is corrupt. There is Parliament and there is the staffs of Parliament. So which Parliament are you talking about?
Parliament is accused of budget corruption. Let's begin there.
Budget corruption?
Yes, when you're talking about grand-scale corruption, it starts with the budget. And to be precise, it's Parliament that is at the helm of all this.
No, that's not correct.
So doesn't it make it redundant that Parliament vows, members of Parliament from both the NRM and independent IU, vow to fight corruption?
No, you see, when you talk about budget corruption, Parliament appropriates, and under Budget Act, budget starts from cabinet. It is discussed as presented in policy statements by individual ministries. So those ministries, when they present their budgets, members of Parliament cannot now go to say that we process the budgets. We process policy statements in accordance to the core circulars from finance. So finance writes a core circular to ministries to indicate that we are going to have these resources and our priorities are these. So Parliament does not say that there is budget corruption. That is for propaganda, those who want to spoil Parliament. But budget corruption is not there in Parliament. That's what I can assure you.
No, but it is foolhardy to deny that there is budget corruption when your colleagues were arrested in the 11th Parliament, still over budget corruption, and there is evidence pinning them to asking for bribes to inflate budgets or to pass.
So who caused the arrest of those members of Parliament? And why were they not tried to the conclusion? Because if there was a judgment, you are showing me that members of Parliament were tried, were arrested, tried, and the judgment
never
was
convicted. It was dropped along the way.
So what happened? So was it correct? That's why I'm saying that the president and other systems must protect one another, so that you don't make an error to go and arrest people, and after arresting them, then you drop the charge. Why? So there was no corruption. If you are showing me the judgment that was in court and they found those members of Parliament having been corrupt, I would say they are corrupt. But as we talk now, it is not there.
Well, as we take a break, I want to take you back to the memorandum or the relationship of independence and NRM. There's suspicion about the timing. Could there be something that is perhaps looming, maybe one of those groundbreaking bills? There is suspicion that there is a presidential election amendment bill coming, and NRM badly needs numbers. That's why they brought you on board.
Now, Mayor, I have been in Parliament for some time, more than once. And I have worked also with the president as one of his special assistants. I can say I can know his reading, and I can also think somehow. I want to give some assurance that the president believes in the common citizen. So there is no way the president is going to introduce a bill, as people are saying, that the parliament will choose the president. President does not want to be owned by few individuals, because there are challenges of being owned by few individuals in the parliament. The danger is high. Like if you wanted to impeach the president, when he is elected by members of parliament, there are few. It is easier to influence them, and they have, they can claim they own him. The president of Uganda, who I know, General Yoweri Museveni, does not want the mandate from a few individuals. He wants mandate from the masses. So I am sure that thing will not come. Even if it came now, it would need a constitutional review commission, because the issue of elections, people deciding who will lead them, Article 1, you will overhaul the whole constitution. And this constitution is owned by NRM. And the president is proud because of that constitution. So would he think that he will overhaul the whole constitution? That's I don't see it working.
Each time NRM wants its way, they normally come to independence, sweet talk them, and here is another one.
No, they don't speak to independence, but they convince, they share. So, but there are those ones, even in NRM itself, they don't agree 100%. The majority decides. So even as independents, we see where there is value, we go there. When there is no value, you don't go there.
No, but now you're bound by NRM rules.
No, you see,
by the memorandum of understanding.
By the memorandum of understanding,
you are bound by NRM.
We shall be listening to your ideas, and we also say we shall also be listening to your ideas. Not necessarily that we shall be going wholesale or to take things without debate. Otherwise, the issue of parliament will not be there. Parliament means debate, and the debate must be free. What is going to happen is that the memorandum cannot be a tool to intimidate members. It should be a facilitation for performance.
Ordinarily. Ordinarily, it should be a tool for performance.
Yes.
But do you have a clear understanding of what you signed?
Why not? I'm the one who signed it. I know that what I signed will facilitate individual member of parliament who is independent perform better for the benefit of the people who elected him or her.
What are the perks that come, the benefits that came with the signing?
The benefit is that
monetary.
Now, not monetary. The benefit is that now, as an independent in the parliament, the whips, the party whips, are the ones who recommend, or who put committee where to go and where to belong, or even chairpersons. Committee leaderships are put there by independent party whips. In this case, members of parliament who are independents, we go to the speaker's office because we are independent. But now, the speaker cannot impose a member to lead a committee, even when he is an expert. But now we have a relationship which is saying, no, nothing will stop you from being a leader of a party, of a committee. That's the relationship among them which we have got now.
Yeah, but
so in the next season, next sessional committees, some of these committees will be led by independents, if they have capacity.
I think it's too early for you to enter such a marriage.
Which one?
And how different is it from the...
But I also told you that the provisions,
the mysterious
the provisions of the Constitution and the rules of procedure, they say that there will be parliamentary committees. Parliamentary committees will be chaired by, those accountability will be by will be by party in opposition. The sessional committees and other committees will be by the NRM, the government in power. But you find that even in already within the opposition, not all of the people chairing those committees are members of NUP, which is a leading party in that place, because they have a relationship. So if those ones in opposition have already a relationship, why can't NRM have the same?
Well, we'll return with more discussion on the undercurrents in the new relationship between independents and the NRM, still asking whether it will bring a paradigm shift in the way business is running in Parliament, or whether it could also be coming with something quite intriguing yet to come. We'll be back.
Did you know? Brought to you by
Fake spare parts can be deceiving. They seem cheaper, they seem good enough, they get you moving for now. But what you don't see is the hidden cost, damage to your car, endless repairs, wasted time off the road, and potential risk to lives. In the long run, fake parts cost you more. Choose genuine parts from any CFA or mobility location countrywide.
Did you know? Brought to you by
Are you planning an event? Think of X Events. For the best photography and videography of all kinds, we believe that every moment is worth capturing. Whether Kwanjula, weddings, Kuhinjira, bringing out the culture and glamour. And of course, a professional team that has mastered the art of the game and progear with elegance. X Events is located along Rubaga Road on Access Building opposite Hotel Sojavalo. X Events, capturing your precious moments.
Well, it's still the topical discussion as we go between the lines on what's happening in Parliament. Caucusing is now the order of the day. On one hand, it's the opposition that had a retreat last week, discussed quite a number of things, digested the future, and looked at the ways where they can be strengthened. When you look at the current opposition in Parliament, do they pass the mark as the credible opposition that will give the NRM an oversight and rather a run for your money?
You see, in any system, there is a system improvement. System improvement is continuous. So we believe that the happenings in the 11th Parliament, in either NRM side or the opposition, for a country which is developing, it means that 12th Parliament is expected to perform better than the 11th Parliament because they learn from the good things and bad things that happened. So now to say that we judge the members of Parliament who have none of the committees have even produced a report on the floor of the House, whether sessional committee or the accountability committee. Because the sessional committees, this Parliament, now it's Parliament, is looking at the budget that was passed by discussed and passed by and propagated by 11th Parliament. So there is no way we can judge this Parliament of 20th Parliament against this budget now. So in terms of sessional committees. Secondly,
so how much time does the country need to give legislators before we start judging?
To judge them, you judge them after, say, 1 year. Because after 1 year now, this budget is going to end. We are going to see how the budget has performed. The ministries will be reporting to different committees. Different committees will be now monitoring performance of and implementation. And we shall see how much resources are being released and how the capacity of the ministries to absorb them. So at the end of like 6 months, after 2 quarters, 3 quarters, now we can see that Parliament can be judged. But now it is totally because even the first quarter hasn't come.
How can Parliament escape the evils that bedeviled the 11th Parliament?
Yeah, but you know that these are what happened in the 11th Parliament. The new members of Parliament. They are those who were not elected, and those we believe that these ones who are elected now are the best breed in the whole country. The current Parliament is the best. So we expect best performance. But management of expectations is also very important. And that's why the President starts with saying, members of Parliament, help me and fight corruption.
Yeah, but
ministers, help me and fight corruption. Now,
what would make the 12th Parliament different from the 11th?
No, of course, the 12th Parliament, the capacity may be different. Secondly, the work method might be different. The leadership of Parliament is different. The committees of Parliament are going to be different, the leaders. So we expect better performance in the 12th Parliament. And of course, they are going to learn from experience. What now you are talking about, what happened in the other Parliament, I have seen the Speaker saying, no, we have learned from experiences. I have seen our Deputy Speaker apologizing for what could have happened in that Parliament where there was some thing that didn't go well. So we learned from the past experience, bad and good, for better performance. That's what I believe.
Yeah, you've been in a number of parliaments.
Yes.
And by far, the 11th Parliament came off as the worst performing. Do you think the ghosts are still haunting Parliament?
But the performance of Parliament is not solely to individuals. It is a system. Because performance of Parliament has a relationship with Cabinet and has a relationship with also the voters. So when you vote for the wrong person, don't expect good results. Secondly, the President is the head of, if I say the President also has a relationship with Parliament because the head of state and is the one who appoints ministers, which ministers come to deliver policy in Parliament. So I believe that the President has seen that there were some gaps in the Cabinet. That's why maybe he changed and rearranged his Cabinet. Now he has deployed them to work and to come to Parliament. Now we have a new Speaker who we believe that he has enough experience.
Okay, the general perception was of the 11th Parliament that they were more of a rubber stamp that were just around to approve whatever came from the executive. Could it be the same pattern with this one?
Yeah, but you see, whatever Parliament processes comes from Cabinet. And many people who have limited knowledge about performance of Parliament, they now blame Parliament. But they don't know that the issue starts from Cabinet. Bills start from Cabinet. Hardly, even if it is a constitutional mandate that we can have a private member's bill. But the majority of the bills are business of the government, which comes through different ministries. So the performance of Parliament on the bills was okay. Because, first of all, when the bill has come, Parliament tests the bill. It discusses it and passes it into law. So I have not seen any Ugandan who has challenged the bills or the acts of Parliament that were brought by Cabinet, processed by Parliament, and then they have challenged them in courts and they have been overturned.
So you want to argue that the 11th Parliament was a stellar performer?
No, of course the 11th Parliament performed very well in accordance with the bills, save for individual individual issues. So you cannot say that if an individual is arrested because he's a member of parliament or he has got a traffic accident, you say because that member of parliament has got a traffic accident, all the members of parliament are bad. No, they are individual cases. Character, the issue of character, not institutional.
Yeah, but do you care about the general public perception of parliament? That even to date, as you clean the house, corruption still hovers. The image of a corrupt parliament still hovers over you.
But you see, what I want also to teach you and other people who are listening is that politics is about perception. And that perception is an opinion. And every Ugandan is entitled to an opinion. So if I went and contested with Honorable Kagwanjara and I defeated Kagwanjara and I am now a member of parliament, Kagwanjara will never say that this parliament is made up of people who are good. So that's why we have a position. So we are supposed to have checks and balances. So now, if this parliament is supposed to be checked by another organ of government, we have IGG, we have courts. So if parliament did anything that is not in accordance with the law, the courts are there to check them. But how many times have you seen Ugandans checking the actions? And
okay, as we speak now, parliamentary staff are facing charges of corruption. There were members of parliament who were arraigned in court still over corruption. The president on a number of occasions was pointing at parliament as a corrupt institution. Do you want to wish these away?
You have said that there are some members of parliament who were arrested. I have told you that for you to be criminalized, we need a judgment. You have not given me any judgment. Secondly, you have talked about members of parliament, and now you have talked about some members of staff who are now in where?
Facing charges.
Facing charges. So there is a distinction between parliament, whose spokesperson is the speaker, and there is also members of staff, whose spokesperson, the head of public service, is the clerk. So it would be unfair for me now to judge, because I haven't seen if I had seen all the tools, all the statements, I would be able to judge. But now that matter is in court, of course you cannot now discuss it. But that is not an evidence that parliament is corrupt.
Well, Honorable Eddie Kwizera, thank you very much for coming in to share your perspective on how business is running and the significance of the new relationship. Is it a marriage?
It is a working relationship.
Similar to DP? And then
no, working relationship for delivery of service for our people.
I think that word service has either been distorted or defiled. It's more of eating. Your time to eat.
I want to repeat
Independents
again that
are now going to eat.
Your perception cannot amend the constitution. And that memorandum of understanding cannot amend the national constitution, which says that associations are guaranteed. Freedom of association is guaranteed.
So now you have a place. You have a home.
We can relate. Yes.
Now you have a home.
No, we can relate. We have people to relate to for the performance of our service.
Well, that's pretty much what we had for you. The discussion certainly continues as we continue analyzing the state of affairs in the country. Have a lovely Monday. Of course, we continue to commiserate as Next Media and share our grief with our viewers and the bereaved family at the loss of our colleagues. May their souls rest in peace. Good morning.
Yenyabo.
Cook better, sell better with Nile Healthy Cholesterol-Free Cooking Oil and non-sticky wheat flour. Nile, Yenyabo.
MTN voice bundle. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21# and get your free minutes bully daily. Free your fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
The power of Grace Live Concert. Yes, Grace. Let you Nachimera come Augustitaji, Murudamu Lisa, Cominal September, come Pilabin Mukaga, Kampala Serena Hotel, Agenda Jogolosa, Kumitan Kuminetano, Habanakina Comsasura Kuminesatu, a Meza Million Santo, Queen Millennium Zona, Habamutegera, Habatamutegera, Mutegera, Kubamutegera, Waku Sitaji and Juju. After that, Kuminal September, come Pilabin Mukaga, Kampala Serena Hotel. Center, Pepsi, French Supermarket, Rose Farm, Phenon, Serena Hotel, NBS TV, Senuka TV, You Got Tunes, Gamayambi Coffee, the Stress Foundation.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched, fuel-efficient, and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800-211-033 to get started.
This year's maiden grand gospel show is the Mascot Live in Very Well concert. 14th of August 2026 is going to be Damasco Live, bounding us with this great gospel music at the Ndere Cultural Center. Entrance is 20K and 50K VIP. A table goes for 2 million. Get your ticket today from carrytickets.com. For more information, call 0702-832-568. Sponsored by NBS Music, Sanyuka Afromobile, Jeff Godwin, Newman Foods, QC Restaurant, Pal Automotives, Crown Japan Katwe, and Stream Road Safaris.
The Miss Uganda 2026 journey to the crown is calling. Are you confident, intelligent, ambitious, and ready to represent the Pearl of Africa? Register now. Log on to missuganda.org. Celebrating 15 years of true Ugandan beauty. Follow the search on StarTimes Makula Chika starting 31st of July, every Friday to Sunday at 8 p.m. Sponsored by partner sponsors V&A Sherry, Vaseline, U-Home, 7 Days International, Evervest Malt, and the lead sponsor, Opain Uganda. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Please drink responsibly.
But now Uganda mood it chitabanga wo. clear process ekutuusaako Irene Namatovu atuuse mu Kampala ku Serena Hotel ng'abiri mu August musajja atuumye strong woman live okuyira emitwalo 10 yebye emitwalo 15 ku gate alebadde emitwalo 10 ate mmeeza ya milioni 3 tickets zitondibwa ku passport ku John Color Solutions ne ku Serena Hotel wennyene Irene Namatovu yasinga mu kyabayita authentic Ugandan rhythms enkuba ya Afro pop egatta engoma ya wano n'ekidongo ono ya Afrima Award winner best female artist mu East Africa choreography ya Irene Namatovu screen stage n'amataala abiri mu August Serena Hotel mwana watu nabo mwerekeddeko fogo kalempiza bimami bijje be strong woman ebikoze sente z'ekikazi twagala byana byeskoba bimadulo kiwoza sente ziwawereza ku simu zabaddemu ekicupuli ky'etaano wereza endala twagidwa KCB Bank Newman's bakola obumpwati Victoria University Euroform Pepsi Mount Caleb International School Bwalula Viniva Logistics Afro Mobile Nesanyuka TV.
Every morning, always.
Festival ya King Saha! King Saha fuze songa! King Saha fuze King Saha! Kanalu mishiza Kololo! Mutondeke Kololo Festival! Gakuminanya anga 5,200 mukaga! Yenebe Kololo Airstrip! Okinge mtwale bini! Yepe mitwale tano! Emeze ya mkande musatu! Waluoine yobu tano! King Saha beko wale! Sanyuka TV, NBS TV, NBS Music, Yuga Tunes, Capital FM Uganda, the Big Farmer!
I'm Dr. Lawrence, Vice Chancellor of Victoria University. Right now, the world is being rewritten, and I want to show you exactly how. Artificial intelligence has already changed how we work, how we learn, and how we live. It's not coming, it's here. And the question every parent should be asking is your child's university moving with it or being left behind? Take education. This used to be the classroom. Chalkboards, rows of desks, one voice at the front of the room. Now, this is the classroom at Victoria University. AI tutors, real-time feedback, every student learning at the speed of their own brilliance. Healthcare is next. This is how diagnosis used to work. Slow, manual, guesswork. This is how our students train today. AI-powered diagnostics, simulation labs, predicting illness before symptoms even appears. This is the future of medicine, and it's being taught right here in Uganda. It doesn't stop there. The way we bank, the way we farm, the way we build, AI is quietly rewriting every single one. And East Africa cannot afford to watch from the sidelines. So if you're a parent and you want your son or daughter to lead, not follow, this new world, ask yourself, where should they be? At Victoria University, our students don't just learn about AI, they build with it every single day. Victoria University is not just adapting to the age of AI, we are leading it. The leading university in artificial intelligence in Uganda and across East Africa. The future is already being built. The only question is, will your child help build it? Victoria University, where Africa's AI future begins. Apply today.
A very good morning. My name is Victoria Sabatani, here with you on the breakfast meeting. A joy and an absolute pleasure to be here on a Monday morning. Now, for many young Ugandans, the creative economy is no longer just about entertainment. It's about becoming a source of income, entrepreneurship, and even employment. Yet, thousands of young women with talent and ambition still face barriers to accessing skills, opportunities, and even markets. Through the Next Creator program, though, NextCom is seeking to bridge that particular gap by equipping young women with practical, digital, and media skills linked directly to work opportunities. Now, joining me this morning is Head of Content Hubs at Next Media, Eugene Kavuma. Welcome. Good morning.
Good to be back here.
Absolutely. I'd love to know, how's it been going so far? Because I know the Next Creator program has been ongoing. How's it been going? Give me an update. What are the testimonials? What are the women going through? Because I see them every morning coming up. Some of them are very excited, actually, to have had this opportunity. I've met a couple of them.
I was going to say they're so excited to just see you from afar. They're like, oh, that's Victoria. They still call you Sibia, though.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's been amazing. So far, we've had about 153 young women go through the program.
That's quite big, though.
Yeah. So we've been in locations here in Kampala, but we've also been to Jinja. And towards the end of this week, we'll be in Arua as well for about a week and some. So we'll be taking the program across the country. So far, there's been a lot of learnings. For example, how we execute the program here is different from how we execute it up country.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me about that difference. Is it because of how people receive information? Or is it mainly because of just cultural differences? What are those key differences that you're seeing?
The interesting thing is that there's a lot more enthusiasm out of Kampala.
That's interesting.
Because within Kampala, the young women here have so many other options, you see. There's a lot of other competing alternatives in terms of what they could be doing, including brunch and reminisce and all these other things that they could be part of. So we've noticed that, like in Kampala, there's a good uptake. Those who commit through, for example, when we have about 100 women signing up, about 80 finish the course. But those who finish the course, you see that there is a lot more extra effort they have to put in. Upcountry, it is a space that they have looked at and wished and hoped. I don't know, how can I like sort of get into this creator economy space and also make a living? I mean, if I write well, I think I can do it from my home. The beauty about TikTok is that you can do it from your garden. Like you can literally do it everywhere. So they're wondering, what do I need to do that? And for them, their barriers are a bit different. There's access to internet and maybe the transportation from where they are to the location. So we've seen that the challenges are different, the interest is different, and the reason for the difference in interest, the reasons are also different here.
Absolutely. So when you're looking at upcountry and young women over there, there's an opportunity to tell their stories as well, isn't it? In a better way than what we would ever experience here in Kampala.
Yes. And we are learning, for example, in Jinja, we were there about a week and a half ago. When we first did the training of trainers, just getting, because what we do, we need to go on ground and get young women in those locations who are slightly more exposed to the media space and creator space, and just give them our curriculum and etc. Some of the young women, one in particular who went through the training of trainer course, like came with like 9 other friends. She was like, I know it's going to be weird for you that I am teaching you, but you're going to get so much out of it. And those 9 young women, we are hopeful. We can't wait to see what they do with the information they get.
I guess another question that one might ask is, there has been such a focus on young women, and I know a few people who've asked, what about the young men? In particular, I met a few young men just this weekend who are very interested in the media space, very interested in the creator space as well, who are even more vigorous to some extent. Is there an opportunity for them to actually be included at some point?
Yes. So we are working. We're working out a bunch of other partnerships that would allow us to incorporate young men into the current program. As the current program stands, and the partners who are making this possible, their focus has been young women for many reasons. They feel that very often the young women are left behind, and therefore whichever economy is being built misses out on the opportunities, on the wisdom, on the clever, on the creativity, etc., that young women have. But we've had that call quite quite loudly, and we're in conversation with multiple other partners to see how do you, if we are able to generate those resources, then we will be able to incorporate the young men into the program.
Now, tell me about the young women who finished the course and what are they doing now? Because that's the next question is like you enter the Next Creator program, what's next?
So I'll give you two examples. So one young lady is called Sharina. She is currently interning with us here at Next Media, but she is from our partners called Quad A. Quad A teaches young women how to record and produce high quality audio. Now, Quad A is the only I believe Adobe certified studio we have in Uganda at the moment, and it produces a lot of the audio for high-level movies from across the world, be that Nigeria, South Africa, as well as Uganda. So she got the training from there, and now she's been practicing it here at Next Media within the audio department. Another young lady called Sharon. Sharon has leadership ambitions. And when we had a chat with one of the ministers, minister of one of the new ministers, she was like, I want that young lady to come and actually handle the digital assets of the ministry. And so for us, those are like two basic examples. But we know that just across this week, we're looking to place around 12 young women in different producer roles, where they're going to collaborate with some of our partners from Yugatune, the producers from Yugatune, to just learn how do you produce awesome audio. And it's basically they get trained and then they get opportunities to practice what they have been trained in. And should they illustrate value to those people that we connect them with, those guys are willing to incorporate them.
Sounds absolutely exciting. But let's talk a bit about how do you then convince families and communities to see content creation as in digital media as a viable form or legitimate career choice? Because I think that's probably one of the hardest things to convince any parent. We're like, okay, I'm going to be making videos for a living.
And I'm not going to disturb you. Like in about 6 months.
I'll be on the internet most of the time, you know what I mean?
I think parents, by default, as a parent, you want to protect the child. And very often you're protecting them against something you yourself don't quite know, because your general age is not one where many of your peers are creating content. But you can see examples. You're an example. Canary is an example. You can see an example of people who create content and actually make a living. So one, we use you guys as an example. For free. For free. We're like, well, you see these guys, this is part of how they earn. The other way is to leverage the brand equity that Next Media, NBS, Nextcom, and all our partners within the conglomerate have built over the years. So we're able to tell them, look, we have been doing this for a minute. We see where the future is. We know that the future is digital, and what's going to be happening on digital is what do you use the digital platforms for? And many people are going to produce and consume content. Wouldn't you rather your child is a producer of that content and earns from it, rather than simply a consumer, because already they're consuming it
Absolutely.
anyway?
Let's go a little deeper into that, because I think financial inclusion is definitely part of, not just part of the program, but I think it's a major driver as to why I would want to sign up, is I want to know how I can make money out of whatever it is I'm doing. Why is that such an important conversation when it comes to talent? Because these days it's hard to say we'll pay you through exposure. Because exposure doesn't pay bills, it doesn't pay bills.
And I'm yet to meet a landlord who will say, yeah, thanks for the exposure.
Thanks for the exposure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the supermarket, do you guys care for exposure?
Well, it's interesting. We quote some statistics around the creator economy. The fact that it contributed about 3% to Uganda's GDP just last year. I think that's about 4-point-something trillion. UGX that actually contributed. So one, we quote statistics and say this is what's on ground. This is actually what you can get out of the space. Two, the program itself, there's a bunch of things incorporated in there. For some of the top students that come out of it, we're making it possible for them to either acquire a small grant or actually a much larger equity exchange conversation with another one of our partners in the consortium. So we're not just going to, there's a common saying that Uganda's youth are over-advised, highly skilled but not given the opportunities.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is that we're giving people, one, the skills, two, the opportunities to practice the skills, and then the third aspect of it is that access to finance, which is if you perform fairly well, you get access to a potential grant. If you and a bunch of friends come together who are from the program and you create a content creation company, because we're training people how to be front of the camera, back of the camera, and also be an awesome distributor of that content. If the three of you come together, then we also create a pathway for you to access some resources where you can acquire a camera. You could pay yourselves for at least 3 months as you get yourselves on the ground, etc., etc. So that's also part of the program.
Yeah. Well, I would say that exposure is also part of it. Exposure is also important, as much as we might underestimate it. When you add those things plus exposure, it works all together.
And it's exposure within our context, where we are a group that has figured out how to leverage content and actually
to maximize on that. I think one of the major things is that when it comes to a program like this one, it can be very inclusive. I mean, if we're looking at women with disabilities, perhaps, how is that opportunity opened up to women with different types of abilities?
So for example, in Ginger, while we were there was a young lady who could only read via Braille.
Sure.
And the program has done it in such a way that when that happens, we are able to collaborate and coordinate resources from other consortium partners and access things such as the Braille machine. So, some of the notes can then be converted into something that she can read. So as much as possible, we are expanding ourselves to make sure that we can accommodate that. If you are a young woman and you're a mother, we immediately tell you, just let us know. We'll make sure that should you need to have your child with you, that child is going to be catered for. We've noticed, though, that there's a bit of shame around being a young woman and having a child. So we are constantly asking, even on the side, one of the program communications person, her name is Teddy, does a big job around trying to convince the young women that it really doesn't matter what your context is, we are willing to accommodate you. So
But also, I think the internet is quite open to every life experience, because there's always somebody who will relate to your story. And so it is quite important that that is actually given space. Now, looking ahead, what does success actually look like for the next creator program in the next year or two?
So success for us is converting all these 153 people we've already trained and placing them in situations where they can earn. Currently, a bunch of them are earning already on their own. So there are those who came to us, had some level of skill and upgraded what they had. Two, we're looking forward to the graduation. So our graduation ceremony should be at the end of this year, where we'll collect everyone we've trained across the country, have them in one space and celebrate that particular achievement. But also the third thing is for us to close the funding that we are chasing, so we can include the guys as well.
How can people actually participate in that? Because I think there are people watching right now who are thinking, I would love to, get a kid in there, or get a young woman in there, or get a group of women participating in the program. And on the other hand, you have women who want to be part of the program. Could you answer on both sides? How can one be a part of the program physically, and how can one actually support the program and support the women?
So for supporting the program, we are looking for entities, organizations, NGOs that would have a strong need for content creators. We have trained these guys. We do content for a living, so we have trained them. So should you be an organization out there, you'd like to support a young woman, this is someone who has a skill, and the skill is relevant and necessary to your business. Would like to place them there. We'll come and visit your space, make sure everything will be okay, and then we'll place as many as we think you can accommodate. Now, so reach out. We have the Next Creator platform that's across all our socials on X and Instagram, but also Nextcom. Just comment, I'd like to get in touch with Next Creator on our Nextcom pages. We'll be able to reach out to you. For the participants, for people who would like to be part of the program, We often run a QR code. I hope we can have it placed. And you can scan that QR code and fill in your details. Everyone who fills in their details, there's about 6 of us our email things are about to be full because every time anyone fills that out, we receive a notification.
Now, important to clarify, these services and programs are free?
This program is free. Where do I have to look? This program is free. If anyone says, pay me so I can get you admitted, etc., they are lying. Please report them to us.
Well done on the work that you're already doing and also for training these women. I think you're doing an absolute amazing job. It's very clear that Uganda's creative economy continues to open new pathways for innovation, entrepreneurship and even employment. The challenge now is ensuring that talent is matched with skills, opportunity and even access. Now, our thanks to, of course, Eugene Kavuma, Head of Content Hubs at Next Creator Hub, of course, for joining us this morning and also for all the work that they are doing. Let's go ahead and take a quick break.
Umwishongozi wawe ririye nabasuba kweshongori yawe nowatine ruhanga yakukunda nakukunda yachitagurira yachituletera Kampala omuli Serena Hotel ebiro makumesho tubikomana n'umwako kutandikana shamwenda emiryango neza kuba yigwirwe twatandikira kushemererwa jishuka ngushigatirwa beshongozi ba gospel bakunda abaratere nanga tukashashanoka ukutaha muri mitwaro 5 VIP mitwaro 20 tables miliyoni 3 hamwe na n'itanu z'abamazireyo kumanya bukukiraho tera 0 50 50 nkaga ninda bishagikirwe.
Every story begins in silence. In a village, along a street, in the heart of a dreamer no one notices. Yet stories hold the remarkable power to inspire, transform, and shape the future. The Uganda Film Festival, UFF, is back. Under the theme, Transformation, the Power of Local Stories. To boldly celebrate creativity and talent that transforms our nation. Starting 21st to 28th August, enjoy the latest Ugandan films in cinemas and select screening venues and vote for your favorite films. Don't miss out on the transformational film workshops designed to inspire growth and creativity. Join us on 28th August to recognize, celebrate, and honor excellence in the film industry at the glamorous UFF Awards ceremony. For more information, call our toll-free number 0800 222 777, powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
NBS. Always.
August 2026 is here! And Yada for Life presents Mujatu Sinze 2026 Nsima Edition on Saturday 29th August 2026 at Imperial Royal Hotel with a lineup of heavenly voices and ministers. Are you grateful to God for what He has done and accomplished in your life? Do you have a reason to ultimately thank God for? Get your deluxe ticket for 30K, gold for 50K, platinum for 100K, and the table at 2 million. Doors open at 4 p.m. Buy your ticket at Unique Uniforms Uganda House and at House of Rest, former Fidodido. For bookings and reservations, call 0760-595-316 or 0708-766-536. Mujatu Sinze 2026 Nsima Edition and proudly sponsored by Yuga Tunes, Afro Mobile, Yuka TV and NBS Music.
Too many ads? Expensive subscription? You deserve better. And artists, thousands of plays, but nothing to show for it. This ends now. Introducing Yuga Tunes, the new home of your favorite music on Afro Mobile. Listeners, stream your favorite songs ad-free at no cost. Artists, earn from every stream. Withdraw your royalties anytime from as low as 20,000 Uganda shillings. This is music that pays off. This is music that belongs to you. Yuga Tunes, your sound, your stage, your reward.
Better study tips. Stay ahead of scams with double-check URLs before entering login credentials. Scammers create fake websites that look real, aiming to steal your data. Always verify the web address to stay safe. In partnership with Uganda Communications Commission and NBS.
The world is going digital and creativity is no longer just a passion, it's a pathway. Next Creator is building dignified job opportunities for young people by turning creativity into real careers. It's about more than just content. It's about learning digital skills that lead to sustainable income, branding yourself with confidence, understanding influence and the digital economy. Next Creator equips young creators with the tools they need to grow, adapt and thrive in a fast-changing world. If you want to turn your ideas into opportunities, if you want to make creativity work for you, this is where you start. Next Creator, your skills, your future, your opportunity.
Good morning and welcome back. You're still tuned into the breakfast meeting with myself, Victoria Sabatani. Now let's talk artificial intelligence, because it is no longer a future technology. It is already influencing how we learn, how we work, how we even communicate and also make decisions. I mean, governments are using it to improve service delivery, businesses are adopting it to boost productivity, and institutions are exploring how it can transform everything from healthcare to education. But as opportunities grow, so do concerns around privacy, also around misinformation. Cybersecurity has been a big conversation, and as well as accountability. So what does it take to build an AI-ready country? Now, joining us this morning to have that conversation, Mr. Julius Torach, Managing Director of Vision Africa AI, as well as Dr. James Onyoin, who's the Board Chairperson of Vision Africa AI. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Dr. James, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's start it off with you. The phrase AI-ready country. I mean, so many phrases have been popping up. The more we get deeper into AI, the more the concerns, the more the security issues, but also the more the innovations. So now countries have to be AI ready. Yes. It's being increasingly used around the world, but what does it actually mean in practical terms that a country can be AI ready?
Thank you very much, Victoria. We've been talking about how can you as an individual be ready for AI, but I think today we're moving this conversation a little bit higher. How can Uganda as a country be ready for AI? And there are basically a few areas that the country needs to look out for. I mean, things that the country should put into place for us to be ready for artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. The first one, of course, there must be proper policy frameworks in place. You know, as we speak now, the countries, the Ministry of ICT the other day, I think we had a speaker who was speaking to us at the webinar on Thursday. He was updating us on how far we've gone with preparation of the AI strategy for the country. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I think Julius here is one of the people supporting that process of developing AI strategy for Uganda. Mm-hmm. So the first one, you must have the right policy frameworks. And I think government is already moving a good distance on that. I'm hoping that in the next 1 month or so, we should be seeing the launch of the country's AI strategy. Sure. That's the beginning.
That's good.
Then, of course, we must have, for us to be ready, we must have the digital infrastructure. Right now, most of the AI we're using is sitting in servers in the US, in UK, and those other countries. Mm. And for us to be properly ready, there's an there's an aspect of sovereignty that's required. At some point, we really need to reach a point where we have our own data centers. We manage our own information. and who have control over that information. And also, the information should be localized. You know, because some of this information we're using on the current AIs, you might have some biases seeping into our environment, something which is not of African value or something like that. So we must have the digital infrastructure. Then thirdly, we must have a skilled workforce. Because most people are currently using AI like ChatGPT.
Of course.
You just go in and Google and something like that. But at Vision Africa AI, we've got programs to help people, to train them, to skill them, to be able to prompt the artificial intelligence, ask the right questions, because the quality of the response you get depends very much on the quality of the prompt that you put into the system. And then, of course, we have to look at also institutional governance. You know, it's good to have the policies in place, but how do you make sure the do's and don'ts? You know, the regulations are very clear, and there are bodies which can regulate to make sure that we are all playing it safe to reduce what you've just talked about, issues around risks around cybersecurity and so forth. So how do you make sure that is put into place? So there's a need for governance. In fact, for private sector, we're now telling them it's important for, even at the board level, right from the board level, to have a committee or a dedicated subcommittee discussing issues around artificial intelligence.
In a quick form, would you say that Uganda is AI ready?
I would think that we have the right fundamentals.
Okay.
You can see the AI strategies in the works. I'm sure it will come out soon. When it comes out, we shall certainly come back to you to say it's ready. So that shows already some progress. If you look at the digital infrastructure, a lot has been done. Because the other aspect, other than data centers, is are you able to take connectivity to the people? And government has done that a lot, done very well on that. In fact, I don't have the latest statistics, but I know NITAU, National Information Technology Agency or Authority, has been taking the backbone, the fiber backbone, to almost every district in the country. So the coverage is good. And the other day, I was attending the State of the Digital Economy here. Yes. And I remember your group CEO mentioning, Skin Karisa mentioning that even in his village, you can now enjoy a 5G network. So there's some progress.
There is some progress to some extent.
But we can't say we're ready. We're just
almost there.
Putting the fundamentals.
Would you say in a few months or a few years?
Of course, not everything can be done at once, but especially if we get the AI strategy in place, and then the infrastructure is already there, we can start with what we have.
Okay.
And keep improving until we really get there.
Mr. Torach, let me bring you in on this one. And let's talk a bit about, because, you know, many countries are on this race. And I think we have been on a race since 2018, 2019. Many countries got onto the AI race. And countries are coming up with the better AI and this. Innovation is growing much more in that space. But why should Uganda be paying attention now with the AI space rather than later, once the technology perhaps has matured, once the technology maybe has grown even further, where the whole world can agree on this is the technology? Why is Uganda getting involved right now, and what's the importance in that?
Thank you very much. Actually, we are not getting involved now. Somewhere between 2019 and 2020, His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni established a task force on the National Task Force on the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And that task force came up with a strategy, national strategy on the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which highlighted the fundamentals which our board chair has talked about in terms of infrastructure, in terms of policies, in terms of regulations, in terms of skills, in terms of data, in terms of procurement of local solutions. So we have been at it, and we have just been continually building. And actually, we have a number of our young people who have since come up with a number of AI solutions. And infrastructure has been expanded by both government and the private sector around the country. And recently, I made a presentation on how to leverage AI to attain the 10-fold growth strategy. How can we move from 50 billion to 500 billion in 14 years? That can't happen unless we leverage technology. Mm-hmm. So we must move quickly to make sure that in the area of agriculture, we are deploying AI and emerging technologies. In areas of tourism, we are doing the same. In areas of minerals and oil and gas, we are doing the same. In areas of science and technology, we are leveraging AI. So we can't do catch-up, and we can't wait, because we have already a high-level government strategy established. But we must increase productivity in an acre of land. Are we going to continue doing farming the same way? How can we raise the number of bags of coffee that government requires? Mm-hmm. So really, the strategic direction has already been established. What we now need to do is to say, what kind of technology can we use in order for us to attain that goal?
Absolutely. What risks, or rather, what opportunities do we risk missing out on if we move a little bit too slowly, or if we don't catch up as quickly as possible?
There are quite a number, because now even in education, mm-hmm. globally we are using AI, personalized training using AI, medicine, even in development of medicines, in drug discovery we are using AI. Mm. In terms of telemedicine we are using AI. So Uganda risks losing out. First, we will not attain the 500 billion economy that we are aiming at. Mm-hmm. And the other one is also the quality of living of the citizens. How do you expect the lives of the citizens to improve when they are not aware of the opportunities that AI brings? But also they need to be aware of the risk associated with it. So actually, if we are not prepared and we are not aware, our citizens will be losing money. Mm-hmm. Because AI is used for both good and for the bad things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's talk about those risks, maybe from both of you. Dr. James, which risks are you worried about the most? Is it privacy? Is it misinformation? Is it maybe bias or cybersecurity, as we've already touched on? Or is there something else that's a bit of a risk and we're not really seeing it?
Okay. First of all, artificial intelligence makes you operate more than 10 times the speed at which you operate.
That's true.
That means when I'm able to do something in 2 hours, let's say something which I normally take 2 days to do, I can do it in less than 2 hours when I'm using artificial intelligence, because mm-hmm. the system helps me to do the donkey work. Mm-hmm. Now, on the flip side, on the other side, also the bad guys now have the technology which they can actually use to break into our systems.
Which we've seen happen recently,
yes,
actually.
Yes, it does happen. It has happened here and there. So, because now they have a stronger weapon to use in terms of continuing with their fraudulent activities, you have to be aware that now they can actually commit crime at speed and at scale. So that means that's the risk that we run, because it will mean somebody seated somewhere in some country outside even can break maybe into our systems of the banks, our systems of government, and so forth, and cause a lot of a lot of damage. Mm-hmm. So that's the risk that can be there. But like I always tell people, we know very well that the moment you board a plane, there's a chance that you reach safely, and there's a chance that you may not reach safely. Mm-hmm. If something goes wrong, you could actually crash, and that will be it. But we don't stop flying in planes because, and even cars, because you know very well that it would take you probably 6 months to reach Europe. If you went,
if you're not on a plane.
If you are not on a plane,
it'll take a while.
Yes, it will take a while. But also, with existing technologies, planes are actually safer than using a car. You see? So that's what we need to be looking at. How do we make artificial intelligence so safe that anyone else using AI as well, trying to crack into our systems, does not succeed.
Okay.
Yeah, does not succeed.
You've touched on quite a few of them, but I'll change my question for you, Mr. Julius. Governance sometimes sounds like regulation for many people.
Actually, yes.
Yes. But also, this is an area where innovation is also needed. How do we strike a balance? Because innovation needs room to grow. How do you strike a balance, the right balance between the innovation and governing when it comes to this space?
Innovation without governance is risky. Why do we say so? We have just talked about issues of cybersecurity.
Yes.
We have talked about issues of data governance. AI rides on data. So we need to have regulations around data. We need to have regulations around procurement. What kind of systems do we need? And when we procure systems, where is the data hosted? We are collecting data around procurement. We are collecting data about citizens traveling of Uganda. We are collecting data in the health sector. Where is this data sitting? But we also know that innovation normally moves ahead of regulation. So the intention is not to stifle innovation. That's why at times we have standards, we have guidelines, which are actually kind of soft. Code of conduct or ethics that allows innovators to do their thing, even as the law and the regulation lag. So yes, there is that balance. We must allow innovation to progress, even as we come up with interim rules and regulations and standards, so that we don't do innovation in a jungle.
Let's practicalize
and it makes
that.
Everyone safe.
Let's practicalize that a little bit, if I may. What does AI governance look like on the ground? Let's say I'm a university, let's say I'm a bank or any kind of agency. What would AI governance or regulation look like in a sense? Would that look like a cap in how much data that can access? What does that really look like from your point of view?
From my point of view is you need to have an AI-ready board or top management.
Okay.
In an organization. That means the board must be AI aware, what it can do, what it cannot do, the risk associated with it. So the board must conduct an AI readiness assessment in terms of what skills they have, what kind of security infrastructure they have, what kind of technology they have. So that is where it starts. That now should lead into development of a strategy and policies around AI and emerging technologies. Now that should be followed by also having guidelines, internal guidelines. For example, right now people are using tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and they are posting sensitive organizational data and personally identifiable data onto those tools. So we must have guidelines, say, of training. Is the board trained in area of governance, risk, and compliance? Then we need to look at executive management. Have they been trained? Are technical people certified in the right technologies? And then also AI literacy must be across board.
Absolutely.
Everyone should be able to understand. And then we must have the structures within there. Who is responsible for AI in the organization? So within the institution, either you have a committee of the board that is looking at both ICT and AI, or also you designate an officer to lead in terms of AI. So that is what governance should look like in an organization.
Let's talk about it sector by sector, perhaps. What is in agriculture? What does it look like in healthcare? What does that look like also, perhaps in education, which we already know a little bit? What does that also look like in practical terms in those sectors, outside of companies and boards?
That's why in those cases we are looking at both the national and the institutional.
Okay.
because institutions should ride on what the national says. For example, when we're talking about cybersecurity laws, it cuts across all those sectors in terms of national governance, in terms of data protection and privacy. In the health sector, you need to protect people's data. So that is what governance would look like, that in every healthcare, whether it is for government or private sector, we must protect people's data. And similarly, issues of accountability. When something goes wrong in the health sector and we have adopted AI, we should be accountable. Issues of where we normally talk about responsible AI, where we are looking at things to do with ethics, things to do with bias, things to do with transparency. For example, in the healthcare sector, or even in the legal sector, you should be able to determine how does AI make decisions. If you use AI in court to award bail to someone and somebody challenges it, are you able to explain how AI came to that conclusion? So governance, actually, that's why we must be customized as per the sector.
It sounds like there's a lot of training that needs to be done on all fronts for everyone. I think there was an incident recently that I read about where a particular AI was able to get a lot more information about the company and its employees and sensitive data only because its employees was inserting the name of the company consistently within the AI, and they were able to access those things. And so that's, of course, on the security front. If we were to look at how significantly AI development around the world or globally is happening outside of Africa, how do we ensure that Uganda is not merely a participator or consumer and rather becomes more of a contributor towards AI? And do you ever think that we will come up with our own AI programs within the country? Maybe Dr. James and both.
Yes, I can start and then I'll give the technical person. Yes, that's what I was talking about earlier on when I talked about sovereignty of the AI. I really believe that, of course, we have a lot of work to do. That's why Vision Africa AI is here. We have a range of programs to see how we develop our capacity within the country. We do a lot of awareness training, for example. Every Thursday at 3:30, we run free webinars to just, enlighten the public about what's happening in the space. But of course, we have specialized programs as well. People can enroll with us and study and get certified professionally with our partner from called Global Skill Development Council from Switzerland, US, and Singapore. So there's a lot of work to do around equipping everybody to be able to be knowledgeable. And some of our people will actually become certified in AI. And some of them will go into development and we'll be able to develop our own solutions here. We already have a number of people developing solutions. Yesterday we were meeting one potential partner who's developing some solutions around, government systems and so forth. So there are already people developing these solutions locally. And I really believe if we, like he has said, if we keep at it, and keep building capacity of Ugandans, eventually we shall be able to build our own solutions. But more importantly, even if it's not building our solutions, being able to protect our data. That's the most important part. Whenever you put information on the AI, try to ask yourself, on which servers is it sitting? Who has control?
Who has access of it?
Yes, who has access to it and so forth. That's very important. The moment we reach that level of being conscious and protecting our information, then we're good.
Absolutely. How about from your side? What do you think?
I just built on what he has said. We must support our local innovation. We have brilliant Ugandans who are already developing AI solutions. But the uptake of the solution is still low in terms of awareness. But some of us are still obsessed also about solutions coming from other parts of the world. So that's why in the National Strategy of Fourth Industrial Revolution, we put there a section which is to encourage government to buy local solutions. preferential kind of treatment for local innovators. So that is key. We must develop our local data sets that the innovators will use, because that is another challenge. AI rides on data, but right now we kind of don't have one center point where innovators can get data to do with local languages. There are efforts to do that, but it is not yet complete. We have very many languages. So the organizations that are helping to develop data sets in local languages, they haven't gone that far. So these are the local initiatives which must be supported if we stop being dependent on solutions coming from outside.
In that case, then I know that some of our viewers who are watching are thinking, okay, where can I get this training? Where can I go? Where do I start? And I know maybe you could share a little bit on that.
Yes, thank you so much, Victoria. The trainings are available now. Vision Africa AI is committed. This is a company specializing on only artificial intelligence. Sure. So we have a lot of training programs. If you go to our website, www.visionafricaai.com, you'll see a complete range of our programs, right from foundation level, intermediate, up to advanced. So those programs, we have them. Those are online systems, online learning systems. And once you subscribe or pay for the education, for the modules, you are able to actually learn. It is a self-paced learning and so forth. But we also have some programs which are tailor-made, and we can actually deliver them to specific organizations. We have done them for some organizations, government and private sector. And we can also, we're also running some open programs where we say, okay, we go sector by sector, maybe AI in education, AI in healthcare. When we organize these things, keep looking at, checking our websites. There will be opportunities, and it might be for your sector. You should be able to do this. And if you'd want to talk to maybe Julius Torach, you can come over to Vision Africa AI offices, which are at Buganda Road, just after the court.
All right. Mr. Julius, any final thoughts for our viewers today and for those who are listening to you there?
Thank you very much for having us. Our message is AI is here to stay. Everyone should come on board. And also, we have not talked much about career. Also, our young people need to be guided about career development and how we can introduce AI from secondary school to tertiary institutions and universities. Because now AI is impacting every sector. You are an accountant, you need AI. You are a human resource specialist, you need AI. You're a doctor, you need AI. So the time to get on board is now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning and, of course, sharing those insights about artificial intelligence. Really, it presents both opportunity and even responsibility. The challenge for Uganda is not simply adopting the new technologies, but ensuring they are used in ways that protect citizens, strengthen institutions, and even drive inclusive development. And of course, thank you again to our guests this morning for sharing with us. You can go ahead and visit that website if you want to learn more and get yourself equipped, because it's going nowhere. But I am going somewhere. My name is Victoria Sabatani. May the Lord bless you, keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you. Goodbye. God bless.
Festival ya King Saha! King Saha fuze songa! King Saha fuze King Saha! Katana lumisiza kololo! Mutondeke kololo festival! Gakumina nyanga sinkome piramidi mukaga! Yonebe kololo airstrip! Okinge mtwale bidi! Yepe mitwale tano! Emeze ya mkande musatu! Walwoine yobu tano! King Saha beko woine! NBS TV, NBS Music, You Get Tunes, Capital F from Uganda, the beat from
Every tricolor flag tells a story. Every anthem stirs a memory. Every Independence Day reminds us of the courage, sacrifice, and unwavering spirit that shaped a nation. This 79th India Independence Day, celebrate with Radio Wala by sharing your personalized Independence Day message across Radio Wala, Next Radio, and NBS TV, reaching thousands across Uganda and beyond. Join us in honoring the spirit of freedom while showcasing your brand as part of this meaningful celebration. Special India Independence Day advertising packages start from 1 million Uganda shillings. Reserve your spot today. Call or WhatsApp 0774 290 800. Radio Wala. Let's play.
Abanyamusale abanyamukako muko wamawuno aguse n'omwana w'omukalatinamu chimanja Universe inembarara gatano September 2026 kokuyingira kugenda kwa mutwalo vyepe emitwalo 2 golde emitwalo 5 ate platinum ya kakane ate ngambe tani kulanga kulala Universe inembarara gatano September 2026 yelini Paso Festival.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuli dongo ulira muli, momotsema kukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, elendongo ya kusabula. We gonna do free of fire, free of fire, free of
fire. Remember the songs that made you sing. The moments that made you dance. The voice that captured a generation. Now, Grace Nachimera is back on stage. Join us for the Power of Grace live concert, a spectacular evening celebrating the music, the memories, the journey, and the incredible voice that has inspired audiences for years. Friday, 11th September 2026 at Kampala Serena Hotel. Alibud tickets 130,000 shillings, ordinary 150,000 shillings, and tables 3 million shillings. The Power of Grace concert is sponsored by
Looking for a household cleaner that truly delivers? Meet Apo, the antibacterial cleaning powder for bathrooms and surfaces. Apo is formulated for 3-dimensional cleaning. It's a scouring agent that scrubs off dirt and stains, a germicide that kills 99.9% of household germs, and it works with water to wash everything away, leaving your bathrooms and ceramics hygienic and sparkling clean. Keep up hygiene standards without breaking the budget. Switch to Apo today. Apo is available at supermarkets and convenience stores countrywide.
Emiryango neza kuba yigwirwa twatandikira kushemererwa jishuka ngo shigatirwa beshunguzi ba gospel bakunda abaratere nanga tukashashanuka ukutaha muri mitware leta VIP mitwaro 20 debos a miliyoni 3 hamwe na n'itaneza bamazireyo kumanya bukukiraho tera 08 50 50 mwenda nkaga ninda bishagikirwe
Influence is more than followers, it's impact. At Next Influencer, we connect brands with the right voices through a thorough vetting and discovery process. We onboard influencers with hands-on workshops that build skills, unlock real opportunities, and
This year's maiden grand gospel show is the Mascot Live in Very Well concert. On the 14th of August 2026, it's going to be the Mascot Live, pounding us with this great gospel music at the Ndere Cultural Center. Entrance is 20K and 50K VIP. A table goes for 2 million. Get your ticket today from carrytickets.com. For more information, call 0702-832-568. Sponsored by NBS Music, Sanyuka Afromobile, Jeff Godwin, Newman Foods, QC Restaurant, PAL Automotives, Crown Japan Katwe, and Stream Road Safaris.
NBS happening now.
Well, it is a Monday. It's about that time where we get the update from the police. I believe that the spokesperson of the police force, Rusaka Chituma, will be talking to us as to the security update.
The officers standards. So the danger this kind of altercation brings is real. You will recall that in April 2025, we lost Constable Sulaiman Chemonges. You recall?
NBS happening now. NBS happening now.
I want to argue that the action of you disagree with in the entire operation. We have or appellant process. Any dissatisfaction you may be having. So please don't, because the risks are usually high and at times
NBS happening now.
Too many ads? Expensive subscription? You deserve better. and artists, thousands of plays, but nothing to show for it. This ends now. Introducing Yugatunes, the new home of your favorite music on Afro Mobile. Listeners, stream your favorite songs ad-free at no cost.